Hello, Richard.
Hello, Joe.
Well, it's another day here in our beautiful studio. I'm not talking to the mic. There we go. It's another day in our beautiful studio. Slow down the music here.
I was about to say, it's like escalating volume there for the intro.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Just an intro music that just gets louder and louder as the show goes on.
And you're yelling above it the whole time.
By the end of the show, you just hear this indeterminate blabber.
Just a bunch of clipping and yelling. I think the kids would like it.
Yeah, it'd be avant-garde.
Exactly.
It'd be like David Lynch.
That would be.
Wonder if he has a podcast and he does stuff like that.
If he does, and it's not some weird mind-bending trip, I'd be disappointed.
Exactly.
It's just like, here I am going to the store. Here I am washing my car. But even then, it would probably be really weird just because it's him doing it.
Yeah. I mean, even just the regular discussions that man has
That's true.
are just bizarre.
Yeah, once you build up that level of mystique, it's not like you can just do mundane things.
I'm glad that David Lynch ended up in film because he's just that kind of person naturally. I have a feeling like if he ended up just being like a guy at the grocery store bagging whatever,
he would be turned into the police a lot.
Yes.
It's kind of like Vincent Price.
Yes. But just imagine like the manager coming up, look, you're scaring all of the customers. Literally all of them.
You took all the hamburger meat and turned it into the shape of a corpse. You gotta cool it here. All right. So something I wanted to bring up is it shows the power of the free market system in which we exist. Mm-hmm. And that is they have made, I don't know how else to describe it, but French fry cologne.
Yes.
And yeah, it's made by the what was it, the IPC, the like International Potato Council. It's something like that.
It was the IdahoPotato.com reported it.
Oh, Idaho Potato Council, maybe that was it.
Probably that's what IPC is.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, Idaho is the potato place.
That's true.
So
I wonder, I'm not too familiar with potato production beyond that North Korea Potato Distribution Day song. We should talk about that one day. But everybody thinks of Ireland, but do they even grow potatoes anymore in Ireland?
yeah, they still do.
Oh, okay.
It was just, the one famine that put it on hold for a little while.
That's true.
But I mean, because of that, you end up with potato production shifting far more into the U.S., along with more Irish people moving into the U.S. And that's why there's more Irish outside of Ireland than in it. And as a result, you end up with more potatoes outside of Ireland than in it.
It's fascinating. Just like there's more Irish people outside of Ireland, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, then.
So I'd like to think, I haven't looked into the history of it, but I imagine that many of them settled in like Idaho, and that's why
that would make
the
a lot of
potato
sense.
Followed suit.
We should research that and report back. I'm sure all the listeners will be on the edge of their seat, want to learn about the history of the potato.
Yeah, and why it's in Idaho.
Yeah, plus I watch these food shows, and they go around the world, and in India and Mexico, they eat tons of potatoes. I guess they kind of eat them anywhere, but I don't know. It's like, what did they do before potatoes came? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the craziest thing about just the exchange of goods worldwide. Like tomatoes grew in the Americas, potatoes grew in the Americas, all of that. The ingredients that you think of as quintessentially Italian are all American. And so what do you eat in Italy before you can make a pizza or pasta?
Yeah, I forgot about that. The potato is a new world thing.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
It's crazy. Yeah, and they didn't want to eat tomatoes because it's part of the nightshade family, and people thought it was poison. Yes.
I mean, even then, they didn't want to eat potatoes either. Are you familiar with the story of how that came to be? Of
No.
like why potatoes eventually became so widespread? Well, it was this one king, I think in Germany, some high up guy like that, maybe Austria or something.
Okay.
But regardless, he knew that the potato was super easy to grow, super nutritious,
Yeah.
but no one wanted to eat it.
Okay.
And so what he eventually did in order to trick people into eating it is he had a potato garden. And he would set up all of these guards around it and everything and just tell them, if anyone comes to steal the potatoes, let them. So he made it seem like it was this high value commodity. But literally any poor person could walk in and steal it, quote unquote. And
That's
so
great.
eventually it became, that's how we kind of got the idea of, oh, the potatoes are good. And so once the poor people started stealing them, quote unquote, from the rich king, they were like, oh, this is good and this is nice. But it was just tricking people into thinking it was this high quality commodity that needed to be guarded at all times and grown only in the king's palace.
That sounds very similar to Supreme and how it got so expensive.
Yes.
It's entirely just made up. But at least potato, you can get delicious French fries and make a cologne from. Now, the thing I was trying to figure out is, do they like grind up a bunch of potatoes? Is it artificially? I read some, and it said something about like potato essential oil or something. Like, how the heck do you get an essential oil from potato?
I don't know, but I like that they quote say just in time for Valentine's Day. Like you're going to be wearing this for that special someone. The smell of potatoes or French fries rather.
Yeah, who would wear it? Would it be the woman or the man?
I have no idea. Cuz it doesn't even say like if it cuz you said that it is a French fry scented perfume.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a cologne. But I mean that doesn't.
I was just using it interchangeably.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing. It's just whether it smells more feminine or masculine.
Well, actually,
I suppose.
do you know the difference between perfumes and colognes?
I
It doesn't
don't.
have to do with men and women.
Really?
It has to do with how strong they are. So a perfume is the strongest like level of concentration or something like that, and then a cologne is just below that, and then the there's another one, I forget what it's called, but anyways, it's some French word.
Yeah.
But the point is how concentrated it is.
Huh.
So the women's perfume is more and that's why sometimes you smell women's perfume and it's like, oh jeez, it's so strong.
Wow. Learn something new every day.
Right?
But they do say that the perfume is just in time for Valentine's Day and not much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
All it says is underneath it, a recent national survey conducted by Pollfish revealed that nearly 90% of Americans find the smell of French fries irresistible.
Duh.
I that's not a new thing, I would imagine. But I just like that they said, all right, we need to determine how many people find potatoes irresistible.
Plus, I like how official the polling place sounds, Pollfish.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, Smith and Sons or some sort of firm name or something. It's just Pollfish. It sounds like a website. On top of that, 90% of Americans are going to like the smell of French fries, but also at the same time, there's context for things too.
Yeah.
So that's what I wonder about.
Again, because they're advertising this as like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to some fancy dining restaurant smelling like a French fry.
Now, I did buy into the meme, and I checked to see if I could buy it, and it's sold out.
Of course.
Because I wanted to test it.
It does say at the bottom that it's made from distilled Idaho potatoes and essential oils.
Yeah.
But it was only $1.89 for the crystalline bottle. I'd like that they specify it's about the price of a large order of French fries. So you can either buy the ability to smell like a French fry or just an actual order of French fries.
Just take the French fries and rub them all over your body. It's the same thing.
Jeez. But I did look it up. It was Prussian king, so I was right, German.
There you go.
Frederick, also known as Fritz, saw the potential in the lowly potato and decided to plant it for his people. It quickly became clear that his subjects didn't like being told what to eat, so then he just went on to pretend that it was only for him and no one else.
The old reverse psychology trick.
Yep.
Just like you do if you have, a sibling or something.
Oh, yeah.
Just go, oh, this thing is, awesome. I love it. And then they'll want it.
Yeah.
Be like, haha, tricked you.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's some potato knowledge. some potato products,
Well-
I'm definitely not going to be buying that perfume.
Well, the thing too is when it comes to perfume, cologne, whatever. I'm also thinking of the donut one. I don't know if you recall that one. That was like years ago. It was kind of the same thing. They made a donut cologne perfume, whatever, and it smelled like fresh donuts out of the fryer.
All right.
I don't know if you can still get it. I should look that up. But it's a novelty because I don't. Either one, you're gonna attract fat people, or two, it's not the right frame of reference because normally you think of
Yeah.
smelling good as romantic, and this might smell good in the sense of, oh, that smells good, I want to eat it, but typically you don't want to be cannibalized, I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like I don't know, you could smell like tacos. Or although I did have my idea for, and I'm gonna do it one day, of sort of masculine room scents.
They kind of have like the body washes and stuff like that I know of, where you can buy soap that smells like lawn clippings or just wood
Right.
and stuff.
But see, this thing has to be marketed correctly.
Yes.
And I would say stuff like, fresh pizza, sort of a barbecue type smell, cooking meats, type smell. Basically, lots of things to do with food like that, and maybe some, leather and, cigar type tobacco smells.
All right, I got distracted because I was reminded, I thought it was KFC perfume. It was, in fact, the KFC Christmas log that smells like fried chicken. If you want your entire house to smell like fried chicken, burning this log.
So it's a log. It's not even a cologne or anything?
No.
Interesting.
But that led down to a rabbit hole of other various aromas. There is the Pizza Hut perfume.
Huh.
There's the Burger King perfume. KFC has a candle, though.
Interesting.
And the one that really caught me off guard is Play-Doh perfume.
What?
I don't know that anyone has really smelled Play-Doh and thought of anything other than maybe nostalgia for childhood.
Right.
I don't know that evokes such an emotion of desirability. Like, with the French fry one, you can stretch it. That,
Right.
This is a desirable aroma. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that Play-Doh is that.
Yeah, if we had a tier list here, I think that'd be D tier.
Yes.
Because it's not like gross, but at the same time, who
gosh.
wouldn't want that?
Even among all of the other search results of the aromas, there are KFC Crocs.
Of course there is.
And it has a little fried chicken on the top of the crock.
Thinking about all the fast food places and the random things you can get to wear, you could make a whole outfit of other things because, like your Arby's glasses that you have, you can get the KFC Crocs.
There is a KFC cologne.
Oh,
It is
perfect.
called 11 by the Colonel.
I think what I'm going to need to do is see if I can buy this stuff and then do a test of all the different ones and report back. May have to make a
here
video
it is.
on
Here's
that.
the fire log for you.
An actual log.
Yeah, and it just smells like fried chicken.
Wow.
So,
So many comments.
yeah, there's a lot of weird things that they do out there for marketing their products. And it's... Oh my gosh, this is in Hong Kong,
Uh-oh.
but it's KFC fingernail polish because it's finger looking good, and they have like the person like licking their nails in the ad.
Does it taste like fried chicken?
I have to imagine it does,
Wow.
but I don't know.
Well, I know KFC is huge in Asia
Yes.
because they love fried chicken over there.
Yeah, that's what the Japanese do for Christmas.
That's right, yeah.
The Japanese get KFC for Christmas for some reason.
Well, wasn't it marketed one year or something by, I think, like the VP of KFC for Japan or something? I don't know.
It was something like, hold on. It was something like it was one promotion one time, and then
Yeah.
it just eternally got engraved into the minds.
Yeah, and then they, in a weird way, they think, oh, KFC, American, let's do this American holiday. And it's sort of like, I don't even know how to describe how things like that happen, where it's hyper realistic.
Yeah.
Because we, traditionally turkey, whatever.
Yeah.
But then you just take all the like American tropes and turn them up to 10, and then that's what they do for Christmas.
I don't know. I'm on the page, this news article that explains it, but they're doing a nice bit of, in the 70s, Tokyo was doing this, and during rapid industrial globalization, the fast food industry expanded. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I'm like, great, this is useless for me as to why it's Christmas. Here we go, at like the very bottom of the article. KFC, the company launched its campaign in 1974, Kentucky for Christmas, and from that
KFC.
point on, it just stuck in the minds of Japan as this is what you eat at Christmas is Kentucky Fried Chicken.
That's perfect. I mean, it's better than dry turkey.
That's true.
I'd rather have that.
There are some Christmas dishes that need to be done away with.
Yeah. We'll talk about that more on Christmas time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, what did you want to talk about today, Richard?
So I had seen that they're bringing Futurama back again.
Mm-hmm. What number would this be? I don't know, like 5 or 6 now?
I think this would be like the 5th or 6th time they brought it, and renewed it for more seasons.
Yeah.
Because it had been canceled so many times,
Mm-hmm.
which is hilarious with how highly regarded it is.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of The Simpsons,
Yes.
where The Simpsons has gone on for far too long. Futurama keeps getting canceled
Yeah.
before it is had time to kind of finish.
Yeah.
But I will say it kind of ended in the last season,
Okay.
episode, last season, everything finished up. You had enough loose ends tied off that everything's good to go.
Okay.
But Disney decided now that they own Fox, it's time to bring it back, baby.
And Disney being Disney, it's like, how can we pump every last ounce of money out of this IP?
Exactly. So I have absolutely zero confidence in how this is going to be executed because they got most of the voice talent, although they don't have arguably, if not the most important, the second most important character of Bender.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have his voice actor, John DiMaggio.
Yeah, that'd be weird without him.
And he's saying that he wanted negotiations to go so that he would get more money as well as all of his coworkers, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure all of the other voice actors are just like, man, I can work.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah, because when you're in entertainment, it's feast or famine.
Yes.
But when you're in a show like Futurama that's so popular,
Yeah.
that
And it's not like it's someone with a voice that, easily replicatable, or you can just get some other guy to redo the voice and say that the voice changed. It's a robot, so it's not like robot puberty hit.
yeah,
And John DiMaggio has a super unique voice.
he does.
Like, you can tell whenever he's voicing something, like in any video game, TV show, whatever. Like, he's Jake the dog, and he's Schnitzel from Chowder, where all he says is rada rada. But even in there, you can tell it's him.
Yeah.
And he voices that one guy in Gears of War. But I never played Gears of War, so I wouldn't know. But it's like, he's a great voice actor, and it's going to be impossible to replace him, and so fans have decided to boycott it. Rightfully so, I would say, because, again, he's pushing that it's not just for him. Like, all of his other coworkers deserve more.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, well, it'd be one thing if it was some, I don't know, random production company and they're like, budget's tight, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's Disney. They're printing their own money over there.
yeah, they can afford John DiMaggio.
Yes.
Like, if they can pump in however many millions they gave to Robert Downey Jr. for
Right.
friggin' all the Marvel movies that he made,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's harder to argue as a voice actor, like, that I'm iconic for this role.
Right.
But if there's a few people who can do it, and John DiMaggio is one of those people.
Yeah, I think so. Plus, when it comes to voice, I I don't know what to call it, like memory and just the feeling of emotion is much more powerful with voice than through visual, I would say.
Yes.
Because how many people save recordings of dead loved ones or whatever just to hear their voice again?
Yeah.
Over, yeah, pictures are good, but a voice is more personal.
Yes.
And I think just like in, I'm thinking of Friends or whatever, where by the end they're making millions per episode because, they can't be replaced or anything because it would be so weird. At the same time, I think the voice, especially a unique one like him, maybe if it was a tertiary character, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But if you're a main character, especially with that unique of a voice,
And it's not
can't be
like
done.
you're reviving some show that like people aren't aware of. Futurama is a cultural icon for however many times it's been canceled.
Right.
It's still so highly regarded as one of the greatest pieces of comedy television, animated television. Just such a standout piece in culture.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, and you're going to get rid of that character somehow and bring it back and expect success. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just this weird time we live in where creativity isn't happening.
Yes.
At least here in America.
Yes.
It's happening in other places, but when it comes to the big and like other random areas, but I mean the big production type stuff, there's not a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
And it kind of is driving me crazy because everybody's playing it safe. They're just rebooting old stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, do you think there could be more done with Futurama, or do you think it's over?
I mean, there's probably a few more jokes in there, but Futurama had all of the gags it had.
Yeah. And I'd rather something end on a high note,
Yes.
kind of wanting a little more, than just running it into the ground like The Simpsons.
Leave you wanting more, not less.
Yeah. That's why Seinfeld was so great, because they ended it when it was doing great. And their point was, we've told all the jokes we're going to tell.
Yeah.
I don't want to run it into the ground. This is it.
Like, every situation has the characters, the jokes, and everything that you can work with.
Yeah.
And with Futurama, like, again, there's probably a couple, like with just about any show, you can probably eke in a couple of quick jokes
Yeah.
and stories that would be fun. But with all of those characters, they all had their own episodes to do their own thing, to tell those stories, to have those jokes, and you're going to try and do it again? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. The most I really needed is there's a episode of Adventure Time where they got a bunch of the Futurama voice actors to kind of come back, and they all were in just one episode doing stuff like that, because again, Jake the dog is
Yeah.
the voice of Bender, and so it was just funny to hear, oh, that's Fry. Oh, that's, and you're like, oh, that's Zap Brannigan. And they're like, oh, that's just everybody. But that's as much as I really need.
Yeah.
Is like a fun, oh, hey, everyone.
Right.
I don't need the
Cameos.
show brought back.
Right. Yeah, I really wish that they would take risks and try and create something new.
Yes.
Because, I don't know, it's always easy to point fingers and be like one thing, but I think people are afraid of making something new and creative because somebody's going to be offended somewhere for some reason about something.
Well, not just that, but it's also investors want a return on investment.
Yeah.
And it's a safe bet to do something that has shown it's successful.
Yeah.
Like, that's why indie films, indie games are always some of the most exciting.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same old stew you've had 1,000 times.
Yeah. It's like, what's that saying? Get excited for new product, consume new product, don't ask questions. Something like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's much more pithy when it's said, but yeah, that's the cycle it's on. They just want you to go, consume product, here's new product, take new product, don't ask questions.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't mind things getting made, whatever. It's like, but just do it well. But also, it's this like expectation of you have to like this. And if you don't, you're a terrible person.
Yes. Yes. It's a tragic state that media really is in right now.
Because one of my favorite time periods, just for creative stuff, is sort of late 70s, maybe even mid 70s into, I guess, mid to late 90s. Because you get so many good movies and music and cultural trends and just all that. And I don't know what it was, but there was just this huge sort of creative blossom. Like, I was watching, it wasn't even the creation of Back to the Future. It was just the DeLorean in Back to the Future. They were interviewing one of the guys that made Back to the Future. I forget which one. But he was talking about being in USC film school, and he just wanted to make stuff people liked.
Yeah.
And it sounds so quaint and oversimplistic, but that's really what it's about. Is you just try and make stuff that people like.
Exactly.
Whereas he was talking about his other classmates and how they were into like French film and being all, avant-garde, whatever. And there's a place for that, but just being avant-garde for the sake of avant-garde or clicking off the boxes to make your stuff, whatever, it doesn't lead to something truly creative and enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's almost like this thing where if people do like it, then that means it's bad.
Yes. It's the idea that I have my niche,
Yeah.
and so if anyone else likes it, I must be in the wrong.
Yeah.
It's such an odd space to be in.
Yeah, that's why I always just look at things for their own merits. Because, yeah, some things are just garbage, where they just come out mass-produced, whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, something can be good just because it's mass-produced. And, I don't know. Disney needs to get their act together and get some magic happening again.
Yeah.
And not just, well, they own everything now, so I guess that's who you can say needs to do it. Because what don't they own now?
I need them to, like, sell things off so they can just, like, come up with an actual new idea.
Right.
Like, I heard the one, I don't know, Hispanic movie they made. What is it? Encanto or whatever is good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, like, the same flavor, the same story you've heard 1,000 times.
Yeah. And then, like, ironically, with, something like The Mandalorian that did well, part of the reason it did do well is because nobody was really paying attention to it. And people that loved Star Wars and, just creating,
Yeah.
they made something that they thought would be good and be enjoyable.
Yes.
And that's why it was so enjoyable.
Yeah. And then the Boba Fett series, I haven't watched it, but
Yeah.
I've heard it's not as good
Yeah.
as The Mandalorian because now Disney knows, oh, we can do this. And now they have their fingers in it.
Yeah.
And it's the problem of being on either end of that spectrum of it's so safe, it's boring,
Yeah.
or it's so out there, it's uninteresting.
Yeah.
And you need to find that middle ground of it has enough to grab you, but it's also new enough that it's interesting because you have just so much that's repeated in all this. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, I think that covers everything we wanted to cover today.
We had a good discussion, man. We learned
did.
about potatoes.
We
And
did.
we always got to drop the knowledge bombs.
We'll have to report back on the history of were we going to do the history of the potato?
No, we were gonna do the. I don't remember. We'll listen back and remember
Yeah,
our
exactly.
thoughts.
Well, anyways, it's time to say goodnight.
It is.
Good night, until we meet again.
Until then,
Adios,
it's
au
just such
revoir,
the perfect
I'll
song.
be the same.